Hello and welcome to a garden tour on May 30th. I am gardening in zone 6B and just wanted to give an update of how my garden looks right now. We are very close to reaching summer, so I will put names of plants that I may not recall their names. I'm a fairly new gardener. Actually, I am a very new gardener, so I just don't recall everything. But these two tall ones are rose campions, and I had planted seeds last year in the heat of the summer, and they barely came in, and so those two are really looking great and will pop soon. There's a few other little ones all around, but those I don't think will flower this year. Most likely they will build their leaves up, but maybe they'll flower possibly in the fall. Then we've got these three little plants which I don't recall their names. Here is an echinacea powwow. Got one here and one in the back there. So sorry, the car's coming and going. This is, I think, a St. John's wort. Forgot the name, but I think it's a smaller version. Then I've got a RUDBECKIA here. It did get chomped on by the bunnies, so it's a little behind. And then I've got these three big plants here, 1, 2, and 3. So those would be some kind of a small daisy type of plant. And then back here is a dwarf salvia, I believe. We've got some yarrow right behind the rocks, and then back there is a grass, which we'll get to. This is a catmint. This has really exploded, gotten really big, and last year was the first year that this bed was all planted. So this has gotten extremely big. So I'm really happy with that because it really fills in a lot of space. And then we've got these three shrubs, which I also forgot the name of them. And then these are some sort of dwarf hyssop. I can put up the name up on the screen. And then I think the last few things here would be, this is a coreopsis that is coming in slowly. And then this is a lavender, which I transplanted from another area because it wasn't doing well. It's still not doing all that well. But I figured I'd see what it does being transplanted. So we'll see. And then right here, I planted these smaller little ones, are calendula. Also got eaten by the bunnies when I first transplanted the seedlings, and now they seem to be picking back up. And then a gara back there, some more rose campion kind of peeking through over there. But yeah, so that's it for this bed. It's doing great, and as the summer heat comes, I think a lot more flowers will show up. This is the bed on the side of the house. Way in the back, I planted some gladiolas, which are coming up. Not all of them came up, but I see about 4 or 5. And then I'm not sure what this little green one is, but I planted a bunch of summer bulbs. I have a video out that I bought a ton of summer bulbs at Walmart, and unfortunately, since I'm new, I didn't realize that I was supposed to take care of them if I wasn't going to plant them right away, and I did not do that, so I don't think I'm going to have success with all of them. So that one's coming up, and it's either a lily, more than likely it's a lily because it's not labeled with the iris tag. So yeah, unfortunately a lot of things may not come. This is the Millennium alliums. So those are looking really nice and big. I think they flower in the summer. So there's 3 more over here. This is a hydrangea transplant. I don't think it's going to flower. I'm just not seeing any buds building on it. So unfortunately, I think that one might go next year. This one is a lily. My mom had given me a planter and it had a lily in it. At the end of the fall, I took it out, I put it in here. I had no idea what it would do, and it came up, but really not sure if it's going to flower. The ones in the back, those 4 are lily centerfolds. Those are part of the bulbs that I bought from Walmart, and so those are doing fantastic. They look like they're going to definitely grow in. And then all the gladiolus in the back also came in wonderfully. But I have a bunch of other lilies that I planted in here, and I'm really not seeing any of those showing up. So I think those might be goners. I don't know if they'll ever come up. So I'm not holding up much hope for that. You'll see little red markers over there. That's because we are getting some irrigation added into several of the flower beds because right now they don't get enough water, and I have to hand water a lot of things. So yeah, they're fixing the zones for the grass versus the actual garden beds. So this bed here gets a lot of sun. So all the green leaves around are the spent daffodils, and I'll put a picture up of how the daffodils looked. They were amazing. And that's a Veronica, I think it's called some kind of fox. I'll put up the name. It's a pink one. So it's looking great. I think it's starting to set some flowers, and 2 more giant rose campions that are going to be coming up, and then 1 little one here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those. And then this one is really so much bigger than the other one. Not sure this spot why it's doing better, but anyway, that one's really good. And then over here, I had tried some winter sowing and was not too successful. Like the calendulas you saw, those were from my winter sowing, so those worked out okay. This is the one poppy that I didn't transplant. Then we had a couple frosts, and so those died, and this one I left inside the container. I have it in a small Gatorade container. I do not recommend winter sowing in small containers because the soil dries out so quick. So unfortunately, I was shocked to see this one this morning, and so I'm gonna keep it here, and I'm not even gonna bother transplanting, I think, and hopefully it'll seed and put out some seeds, and maybe I'll get a bunch next year. Okay, here I planted up 2 pots, and these both have squash. One is a green, one is a yellow. I planted 4 seeds to see which ones would come up, and I do have to keep only 1 because I heard that they get pretty big. So later on, once they get a little bigger, I'll decide which one gets to stay and which ones go. These are some sunflower seeds that I started in here. Not sure if they're doing well. This particular one is just, I don't know. I don't know what happened to that one. So we'll see how they do. I did direct sow some just a couple days ago in case these don't work out. This is the rest that was left from the winter sowing. Some lavender in there, another calendula, 1 calendula left, some columbine right there, and then some more lavender. So these 2 lavenders, I hope maybe they'll do okay if I transplant them and in that other spot, and I can fill that in with lavender for the plant that died, because the lavender was over here, but yeah, that didn't quite make it. And then I have some hollyhocks that I'm trying to grow. Not sure that these are going to work out. These are also things I bought from Walmart. Again, I think I let them dry out. Didn't realize I had to kind of maintain them, make sure that I sort of misted them inside the bag, and I didn't take care of that. So lesson learned, but we'll see how that goes. Here are some annuals that I bought from Walmart. These are vincas, and so this I will probably fill in a couple areas, and I'm holding off because of the sprinkler work that's going to happen, and I didn't want a whole lot of things being disturbed. So this bed we extended this year, and so I hope to grow this one quite a bit. And it has a peony back here, and I'll put up a picture. It bloomed beautifully. It was gorgeous, and they don't live very long, so the flowers don't last too long. And then also this one back here is a peony, just, you know, flowered and gorgeous, but they don't last too long. These little green ones over here, they're euonymus shrubs, but they were pretty infested with scale, so I did hack them back. We might consider actually taking them out altogether and not keeping them at all, but might not do that till the fall. So here I planted a bunch of dahlias, so you'll see the white markers. So they're starting to come in, and now that the heat is starting up, I think it'll look great. They'll probably grow really nicely. Those were all from Walmart as well. If you check back to my other video, I'll link it down below, of the types that I bought. This one I don't think is going to make it, unfortunately, but all the other ones. Here is where I'm going to put all the hollyhocks if they come in. I also have a bunch of annuals that I'm growing, so I'll fill it in this bed along with the dahlias. So hopefully the dahlias will fill in, and then a few annuals. I've got this bed here with I've got two hydrangeas. These are Twist and Shout, and this is a little bit more of a shaded area. These always do very well every year. This year I did have a little bit of issues with leaf tear, but they seem to have revived, and this one has just so many blooms on it. I hope that when they do the sprinkler work it doesn't get too disturbed. And then this one's starting to put on some buds all over the place. This is a little path I added this year. The first year I did my fairy garden, this is where I had placed it. We had 2 or 3 trees over here that unfortunately got some sort of pine disease, and those all had to be taken out. So now it's kind of wide open. That's where I will be planting the sunflowers. And then here are 2 foxgloves that I bought at Walmart, and so unfortunately I think these will stop blooming within the next couple of weeks. And then those are baby ones that I started, so those are starting to pick up, I think, a bit. There might be a weed in there or two, but yeah, those probably won't flower till next year, but that's okay. Might put a few annuals in there as well. And then I transplanted some moss that I had into the path, and then I will be putting some of the sunflowers back there, and I have some cosmos and zinnias that probably will fill in this space, hopefully. And this bed is in the front of my house. I had that hooker in the back, and I added these 2 here. They are slightly different color, but I like having now this little grouping here. And then these 3 are in the back are just boxwoods, and then these are 2, I believe, endless summer hydrangeas. Also, I think either aphids or I had a leaf tear issue, one or the other. The leaves are sort of curled and distorted, but the buds are starting to come in. I did treat them with some neem oil, and then later some BT, but yeah, I'm hoping these will be okay. Not really sure, but anyways, I did also add a bunch of astilbes all the way in the front here, but unfortunately, again, I did not keep them moist, and I think they were too dry, and unfortunately I think these are not coming in, and I will have to figure out something else, put in some annuals until maybe next year when I can get some astilbes and fill in this bed here with some of those. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.